Welcome back to the 13th part of Cinderella Phenomenon Evermore. Joining me here tonight, of course, is the ever lovely Tobias Atantalus.
Hello.
And in the last episode, we had a beautiful surprise party for Lucette with all the members of the Marchen, sans Fritz. I think he died in this ending, so rest in peace, Fritz. But yeah, in the meantime, though, between a new cocktail and chatter catching up, there has also been a little bit of a royal/familial shift, because Lance has recently inherited Klaude's title as Crown Prince of Brugantia, and so he has to adjust to his new duties. However, he has been having a little bit of a trial of confidence in his speech skills. So we kind of thought, as a little bit of a chance to have a family bond before they separate, Lucette recommended that Lance go and ask Klaude for advice, since he's pretty good at speech making. But will he have the courage to ask the question? That's what we're going to find out today. I think I was pretty concise. Also, this is, I believe the third video that I've made with my new laptop, so let me know how different it looks. Also, we're practically on the last. We were on the last save file. Probably only 54 save slots. All right, so of course, being the classic Chevalier and Klaude, they of course had to get into a tiff. I have to fresh myself a little bit.
Yeah, I'm like, what were they even arguing about? Do I want to get involved in this?
Oh yeah, because apparently Lance knew of Chevalier's work because he's a pretty renowned doctor, and Chevalier didn't know that Klaude had a brother. And then Chevalier was just more shocked about the fact that, like, Lance was being nice. Because he's, like, kind of used to Klaude's harshness. Meanwhile, Lance is kind of a bit of a shock, like, what? What are you talking about in terms of my brother? And then Klaude, meanwhile, is just sitting in the middle of this, like, what is this? Just seriously, what is this? And then, so we're basically deciding, do we praise Chevalier? Do we assist Lance in his thing, or just remain silent?
It's a hard question.
I kind of am tempted to help Lance a little bit, considering that Chevalier's never met him before.
Yeah, my first instinct is just to remain silent and see how it plays out, except I'm pretty sure they're just gonna keep going.
Yeah, like, I know that, like, if it keeps going, it's gonna come to verbal blows. So, like, I'm tempted to, like, help Lance. I mean, Chevalier already has a lot backing him up. Just like, he's got a niece, he's got the whole town backing him up, whereas Lance, he's the second son who just got a first son's responsibility, so
Without any of the training.
As we talk about so much detail in the previous episode. I should have reduced the volume on the music a little bit. It's a little high on my end. Oh, no wonder, because I transferred everything to the new computer, so while the save files transferred over, the settings I made didn't. Okay, that's much better. Oof. It's a little loud earlier.
Why does the music sound loud? Oh yeah, because the music is loud.
Yeah, because I forgot to change my sound settings. Tech challenges. But yeah, I'm hoping to get to, like, maybe, like, the ending. Maybe a wedding this episode. We'll see. I think I'm gonna help Lance out, back him up a little bit, be a wingman, be a good sister-in-law. Lance may be Claude's brother, but his opinion of you has yet to be formed.
My brother doesn't know much about your character.
Chevalier sighs.
Princess, you hear what he has to say about me, and yet you don't scold him. I am offended.
I've simply given up on you two. Lance laughs jovially.
Even the bitterest enemies can become friends if they find something in common. I have faith.
True.
Ever the optimist.
Oh, Claude. Claude turns to me, raises an eyebrow. He leans closer to me and whispers in my ear.
You don't really need to assist my brother. He can handle himself.
Maybe I should have stayed silent then? I don't know.
If everyone keeps spoiling him, he'll never learn how to be independent.
Are you sure that you're the one who should be concerned about being spoiled, Claude? Just saying. He continues mumbling to himself, looking irritated. I cannot tell if he's worried about Lance or not. Chevalier and Lance seem to become a bit more comfortable with each other after the interruption. Claude pulls me away while they continue conversing.
Well, at least someone gets along with that man.
And there's your commonality, Claude. Everyone except you. Claude shrugs. Some things do not change. Indeed, Lucette. Indeed. We part ways after that. Claude going to speak with my family while I make my way toward the Marchen borders.
Seth.
Walt!
Forget what his leg was.
Walt strides past the conversing Lance and Chevalier to greet me. If it isn't Angiel's favorite magician.
Favorite is a bit of an overstatement, but thank you.
Stop playing your talents, Walt. You are great. How have your lessons been going? I assume they have been a success, as you haven't been my last 3 lessons with Delora.
I was actually going to apologize for that.
Awkward. There's no need. There are young witches who require your counsel a lot more than me. Shortly after Walt's purse was dispelled, he made good on his deal to help teach me magic. I used to see him more often before he decided he was going to become a magic tutor for young witches. Waltz is very good with children.
How have your Tenenbaum responsibilities been? That's it.
I have been having more nightmares lately, but it is no cause for concern. Waltz, stop. I can see you're already worrying.
It's in my nature to worry about my friends, you know.
Waltz has been helping me remember some of my lost memories now that he's no longer cursed. With his help, I have been able to recall our previous friendship. Today's the day for celebration. You're not allowed to worry about me.
But
That's an order from your princess.
it's also your birthday. That's the whole point.
The whole point is to be concerned about you and your well-being. Walt smiles as he puts a hand on his chest and bows.
I have no choice but to obey then, I suppose.
Yep. Our conversation turns to a more lighthearted things after that. The jovial hours pass by in a blur. With the exception of Jurian and Garland, who are both back at the palace because of their important night duties, everyone I know is here. It is a pleasant break to catch up with all of them. After some time, a large cake is brought floating in by Parfait. Ooh, it's pretty! Everyone in the room. Yeah. I wonder what kind it is. Everyone in the room grows quiet as they gape at the massive size of it. The cake is 5 different layers, and without magic would have required at least 6 people to carry.
Was under the impression that this cake was small. No, but it is.
It's small by Brugantian standards, Rod. Catch up. Lance gasps aloud as he points to the cake. His usual composure is broken completely when he waves his hand in the air, a wonder-filled smile on his face.
Brugantian top cake. I've had for years.
A what? Oh, I've heard about Brugantian top cakes. They're incredibly difficult to make because of all the different layers, and the largest cakes are said to be slated on account of being so tall. Sounds like the Leaning Tower of Pisa, or in this case, the Leaning Tower of Cake. Ha!
It is small. As far as going near it collapsing on itself.
Klaude is filled with pride when he tells me they commissioned some of the best bakers in GL to undertake the task of making the cake. When the actual decorating was done by professional bakers, the more complex details were apparently crafted by witches. Delora herself has made the trick candles on top, which refuse to blow out no matter how many times I huff at them. I kind of pulled that prank on my parents, actually, with their recent birthdays. I have these sparkler candles that sometimes relight themselves if you don't blow it out properly. But that is smart, Lucette. I end up turning the fire to ice to get them to stop burning. That's smart. By the time everyone is done with their cake, the daylight has been replaced by the swaths of gentle moonlight. The festivities are just about wrapped up for the night when Klaude approaches me, insisting that we return to the palace so he can give me his last gift. At first I assumed all of us were simply going to be teleported to the palace, but my family insists that I go on ahead of them. I think I decorate the streets, I wonder. Father is something he wishes to discuss with Laura and Parfait, and Ophelia is in a surprisingly animated conversation with a niece, who's discussing some complicated recipe with her. Ophelia, never change. I decide to head back to the palace early with Klaude after saying my goodbyes to everyone. I expect my stroll through town to be leisurely, but I'm surprised to see bright lights and decorations when we come to the plaza area. I called it. Specially crafted lanterns hang from the shingles of the rooftops, and the town floor is littered with both white and red flower petals. Everywhere I look, there are stalls decorated with lilies and roses. What is all this?
Celebration.
Of course. The plaza is the heart of grand festivities. The stalls are filled with games, music, and food. Everything is either lily or rose themed, and everywhere I look I see smiling faces and laughing crowds. That's cool. Adeline said that they had wanted some way to celebrate my birthday with the townsfolk, but I was expecting them to distribute a drink, not all of this. That's actually a pretty good idea though, like having like the townspeople have like their own party. Like that's genius, honestly.
Now they're gonna have to do it every year.
Which I don't think they'll mind too much. It's a free holiday. Free real estate. There are rose petals too?
Only because the rose and lily aesthetic is a good combination. No.
It is. I'm not gonna deny that.
There's absolutely nothing to do with feeling a spotlight, I can assure you.
I hope so. No, of course not. I cannot stop smiling as I take in the sight of the town. It is beautiful at this time of night, and seeing the townsfolk so immersed in all the festivities makes me happy. Thank you, Klaude.
Your smile is thanks to love.
Aww.
You both owe thanks to your family. palace service over the Marchen. Been able to plan all this without that.
Aww. Once you're close to the palace gates, like out of view of everyone else, I lean forward to plant a kiss on Klaude's cheek. He blushes immediately. The endearing flush of his cheeks makes me laugh. I love you, Klaude.
I love you too.
He puts a hand to the rose locket.
With all my life.
Aww. That locket, that's such a good idea. I loop my arm through his as we make our way through the gates. I plop down on my bed with a sigh. The night celebrations have gone on so long, I'm more exhausted than usual. Sleep feels incredibly alluring, but... I sit up as Klaude enters the room with a bright smile. His very, very shiny self. And that flamboyant self, yeah. That will not be necessary. Klaude steps forward and holds out a small box to me. It is simply wrapped with a small blue ribbon on top of it. I wonder what it could be. Klaude takes a seat beside me as I unfasten the ribbon at the top and pop the box open. After getting through layers of wrapping paper, I find a smaller box inside. Is this a matryoshka? Let's see. Oh no, it's not. I pop the box open carefully and stare at what I see inside. It's a lily necklace. Oh, that's too perfect, honestly. Now that's a good pick, Klaude. It matches his rose. This? I take the pendant and its chain out of the box carefully and trace the petals with my fingers. My eyes immediately go to the rose pendant on Klaude's chest. Yay! My fingers tighten out around the lily pendant. The celebration at the Marchen and for the townsfolk, the cake, and this gift. Despite Klaude's flair for the dramatic, he was still able to give me so many things today without sacrificing their genuineness. No? Klaude's expression falls. But just as quickly he looks confused when I laugh. I love it. I knew she was gonna say that. I put a hand on his knee and lean forward, still gripping the pendant in my fingers. I promise to treasure it always. Thank you, Klaude. Before he can say anything, I lean forward to kiss him. Our lips meet in a kiss that starts soft and eases into something deeper. I lean into him, causing him to fall back on the bed. What's more awkward? Waltz and... that reference, or this. Comment down below. Not at all. I just noticed your form was lacking, so I exploited your weakness. Answer. I lean toward him again, Liz brushing his once again, but a knock startled us both. Awkward. When neither of us says anything, the knock comes again. Excuse the interruption, Princess Lucette, Prince Klaude. The king desires to speak with the prince in the throne room. He says it's about the celebration budget. Did he overdo it? Celebration budget? Klaude rolls out from underneath me with a sheepish laugh. I think he overdid it. Let's see.
Right, I suppose that is important.
Yep. Better get on that. He calls back that he will be at the throne room shortly. The maid leaves, her footsteps echoing out in the hall. What is this about a celebration budget?
Well, in many of the supplies we set up in town for this celebration had to be paid for from a fund. Brugantian helped fund some too in honor of our marriage.
Oh boy. Did he empty the city's coffers? He smiles sheepishly.
I am afraid I have yet to explain that part to the king.
Wait, you didn't explain that, like, Brugantia helped pay for it? It's more important.
So for all the king knows, it's like, okay, we can afford this much. And they, like, overextended by so much. The king's like, dude, what are you doing?
It's like, yeah, my family kingdom is helping out too, so you're good? You're Gucci. I stifle a sigh as he smooths down his clothes. I'm about to wipe him off when he leans down in front of me once more. He uncurls my fingers from the lily pendant and holds it up.
If you don't mind, darling.
He leans back to clasp the necklace at the back of my neck. When he pulls away, the lily pendant hangs from my neck. This small weight reminds me of the glass slipper necklace I used to have in this same place. Oh yeah, because like the glass slippers were a necklace until you actually did all 3 deeds and they became literal glass slippers, I believe. So, I wonder what happens to them after you're done. They never explained that. Anyway.
Magic. See you later, Lucette.
The two of us say our goodbyes before he rushes from the room, leaving me alone to think of the events of the day. Days pass after that, and the usual schedule begins to fall back into place. Klaude has returned to his usual morning meetings with the king and his class sessions. My own schedule is composed of meetings and lessons, including magic practices with Delora and Waltz. On top of those things, I have the lessons I mentioned to Lance. Lance took my suggestion to ask Klaude for assistance to heart, which means that I had to find a time that worked for all 3 of us. In the end, we decided on a time after Claude's lesson. That is why we're all gathered in the dining hall now. Lance attempts to relax his shoulders and ends up slouching. Uh-oh. Lance smiles sheepishly. I notice his eyes flicker to me and then down to the floor again. Maybe I should have taken this on. I mean, I am the crown princess of Angiel, so I could have been just as good. Thinking about it now. On the other hand, this may be the last time they see each other unless they do more diplomatic stuff. So, yeah. If they had to, like, if there's a chance to air out their grievances, this is the time to do it. Am I making him nervous? I could leave. They both speak at the same time. Klaude sighs as he runs a hand through his hair. For a few moments, annoyance flickers onto his expression, then quickly fades away.
Sorry, Grandma.
Aww.
Apologize for getting it right. I know you can do this. Both took speaking lessons together. No, not again.
So they did train together, so... I guess all the things that I kind of said in the last episode might have been slightly wrong. But on the other hand, though... maybe not completely? I don't know. Lance once again squares his shoulders and looks at the two of us solemnly. He is about to speak when Klaude holds out his hand.
Why do you look so angry? You have that scowl fixed on your face to intimidate your audience.
Lance cringes as he tries to settle his expression to something gentler. A small smile slips into his face and Klaude sighs again.
thinking, what else is he supposed to do? I'm starting to think this is a worse idea the more I think about it.
What exactly is the problem? You know the problem. I'm terrible at crowds.
Well, there's your problem.
No, that's not it. You've spoken to crowds plenty of times before. This has nothing to do with the audience at all, does it?
Well, considering that you are marrying Lucette and they happen to switch titles, and now Lance is kind of taking on a title that he basically up until this point didn't expect to take. Well, yeah, it's kind of unexpected pressure.
It's the subject material.
Go on.
Well, of course I would be stressed about the subject material. This is a speech announcing my inevitable ascension to the throne.
Is abdication a thing in this place?
How can I not be stressed about it?
Again, have they discussed abdication?
Most times I feel I'm not worthy of the title king.
Wow, they are true opposites. Well, Klaude has like the sheer confidence. Lance has kind of been he's kind of been underestimating himself, I guess.
Though honestly, anything, it's better to feel like you don't deserve the title.
Yeah, because then you'll work towards it a lot more.
Opposed to kings who are just like, yes, I'm the best. Out.
Yeah, I think it's like better to have so on the one hand, it's like feeling like you have to earn the title. I kind of agree with that idea. And on the other hand, I feel like it's much healthier to kind of have a mix of, yes, I've got to earn that title, got to work hard for it, but at the same time, though, I give myself enough self-respect to know my limits. You know, like not putting myself down unnecessarily, because people can easily do that for you. I mean, why else do you have security?
Lots of people who would like to put the king down.
Exactly. So don't help him out. When Klaude remains silent, Lance crosses his arms and looks at him quizzically.
Karma?
Klaude's only response is a sudden glare. Why is he so angry?
I don't understand.
I'll phrase that. You, Klaude, have prepared for the duty for your whole life. Lance had no chance of getting anything. Again, that's because you were next in line. You were prepared. He wasn't. Because he's gonna be alone. Oh my gosh. Just like you were for like... How many years were you cursed again, Klaude? How many years were you cursed? It's the exact same thing. But worse. Oh my god. He's lucky that I'm charging right now and I'm in a friend's place right now, because otherwise I would have had very It's a good choice set of words right now. They did not communicate much after his curse broke, did they?
Either that, or he might just be trying to, like, do something as a ploy to, like, get something out of him.
To rile him up. Which may work at the time, but then, like, when you think about it afterwards, can sometimes cause more damage. I know it from first-hand experience. Lance stares at him, obviously shocked by this turning in conversation. My surprise mirrors his. Although, on the other hand, it might be working. I don't know how to feel about it, though. What? Both of us speak in unison.
I'm disappointed in you, Lance.
Oh, good God, this is not what I wanted to hear. The anger on Klaude's face is alarmingly palpable. He glares at Lance, who is looking more and more like he might succumb beneath that gaze. Maybe I should have done it. I'm starting to think more and more I should have done it. This is not right, but... Good God, I don't know what to do now.
Oh, I'll bet since he said he doesn't feel, worthy and he can do it, he's just throwing out, like, well, yeah, of course you can't do it. Who would ever think you could? So that he'll snap back at him with, like, what? No. I am capable. What are you talking about? And he'll start listing off all of his strengths.
But yeah, this is where it gets 50-50, especially with somebody with, like, a confidence as varying as Lance's. It could either, yes, A, do something like you described where it may actually make him assert that, like, hey, here's the qualities that I've got. But on the other hand, which I think is going to lean more towards, is that it could make him shut down. But I guess we could maybe, as terrible as I feel about this, we could try to remain silent and see if the first thing actually happens.
Especially, like, after the last time, he's saying, like, Lance needs to learn to speak up for himself.
Right.
And not, like, have you coming to his rescue all the time.
Right. It's gonna be painful. Let's do it. Ugh.
Ugh.
It's, well...
Come on, Lance, you got this.
Well, this is also the other thing, which is ultimately why I picked this route, which is, it's not my business to say anything. Whatever problems they have between the two of them should be worked out between them. Especially the fact that, like, once they're married, that's pretty much it. We don't know how soon they're gonna see each other again, if they do.
I apologize.
Oh no.
Why are you apologizing? What happened to your back? Why are you allowing me to walk all over you?
Again, Klaude, how many years have you been away from Brugantia?
Say something.
Lance looks at him, distraught.
Something wrong, Karma?
Something is definitely amiss, but I can't imagine what it is.
That question isn't necessary. This is about you, not me.
On the other hand, though, Karma, you kind of have been doing some weird stuff lately, so it is as much about you as it is about Lance. I'm unable to withhold my opinion. I stepped forward, eyebrows furrowed. Lance was simply asking for help, and now you're angry at him for some reason? This is not about him. This is about you, isn't it? Klaude? It's been that way since before he arrived, even. Like, what is going on? I think it's related to the fact that he was absent from Brugantia for so long. Like, I think it's something about to do with that. And he's taking it out on Lance. Especially now that he has his title. Wait, did I miss a thing? Oh, wait, no, it wasn't. Oh, okay. I just wanted to be sure that... The dining hall's open and all doors open and a few servants enter, breaking apart the conversation. Lance and Klaude immediately fix a smile on their faces as if nothing has happened. Thank God, first Brugantia is known for their elaborate gifts, so they're basically known for, like, their elaborate gift of acting everything's fine when it really isn't, because that seems to be the case here. Goodness gracious.
Of course.
Oh, gosh. The two give each other courteous nods before Klaude turns and walks away. As he passes by me, he leans over and whispers into my ear.
I'm sorry, I had to say that drawing. I'll explain later.
In-law drama. In-law drama, oh boy. Those are the last words he speaks before he leaves the dining hall. Not too long after he has left, I follow behind, gripping the lily necklace tightly in my fingers and grumbling to myself. Just when I thought things were returning to normal. Chapter 4, A Kingdom's Wait. I thought we were more further along, honestly, but I guess we weren't. This will be the last point, Princess. Oh! I almost dropped my microphone. Okay. This will be the last point, Princess. Jurian rushes forward without cutting down to the last second. She holds her sword low, and I can tell that she means to strike at my hip. I bring my blade up to block her attack. The swords collide, but not for long. Her blade slides past mine and rises to meet my shoulder. I step back just in time to catch her next strike. This was supposed to be a practice session with Klaude, but he disappeared earlier this morning before I could catch him. Ever since that strange fight happened to his brother, he has been conveniently busy. Why is he avoiding me? I'm barely able to dodge Jurian's next strike as I delve deeper into my thoughts. It's not just Claude's business that bothers me. Ever since he and Lance fought, I've been having nightmares that I most likely feel by the time I borrow them. They tend to be an after effect of negative energy. Which, if two brothers are fighting, that could be especially bad. Oh boy. I feel an agitated strand of electricity snake its way up my arm and quickly shake it off before Jurian can touch me. Though I am fast enough to dispel the magic, I am not quick enough to bring my sword up in time. Jurian gives the final point by tapping her blade on my shoulder. You were distracted. Are you okay, Princess? I'm fine. Does anything have anything to do with Prince Klaude? He seemed a little off kilter lately. Garmin said yesterday he looked like tired enough to collapse right there in the hallways. He is, as always, overworking himself. He will be fine. He's obviously not alright. I should try speaking with him later. I sheathe the sword that I'm holding. Thank you for agreeing to meet for a practice on such late notice. It's always a pleasure, Your Highness. It's an honor for Garland and I to help you with your swordplay. After sheathing her own sword, Jurian and I make our way over to the tree stump where we had stored our supplies. The last items we pick up are the flowers resting carefully at its base. We make our way silently through the trees into a clearing where the single gravestone lies illuminated in gentle sunlight. And I wasn't exactly sure, but I think I have confirmed. Yeah, Fritz is dead in this ending. I remember clearly now. He died in this one.
Jurian heads over to the gravestone first and sets down her flower. Hello, Fritz. She smiles as I set down my lily. I take a step back and to look at the gravestone, which has Fritz's name and title engraved into it. Fritz. For a few moments, I'm stuck staring at the gravestone in quiet contemplation. No matter how many years pass, I'll never forget the smile he wore on his face as he died, or the apology he uttered with his dying breath. After everything that he did, the least I can do is visit him here once a month to pay my respects. Normally, it is Klaude that is here to pay his respects with me. I lean down beside the gravestone and speak to Fritz briefly. It is a small thing, just a simple prayer for him. Jurian does the same. When we are done, I bow my head slightly and whisper, I hope that you are happy wherever you are, Fritz. After we're done, we head back to the palace together. Our time together is brief. We both have our own commitments for the day. Jurian has nights she must supervise, and I have an obligation to meet with my father and the counselors. After exchanging farewells at the front gate, we both go our own ways. Much to my surprise, the throne is devoid of the usual... Throne room is... hold on. Much to my surprise, the throne room is devoid of the usual advisors when I enter. The king is seated at the head of the mostly empty table. Klaude is the only one that sits beside him. The two of them pause in their conversation to look up at me. Klaude flashes me a sheepish smile. I scowl back at him. The king looks between the two of us quizzically, but does not comment as I take my seat on the opposite side of the table. I thought this was a meeting to discuss the implementation of a new law. Where are the counselors? Father just smiles at me.
The changes. I thought the law we were meant to discuss today has not been appropriately plotted.
It was like a fancy phrase in translation, like, yeah, we did not think this through.
The counselors were getting hard, proposed right today, but I concluded that many of them were not adequately prepared and thus decided to reschedule.
This organization is astounding.
No matter, the meeting has already been rescheduled to a time that is more convenient for everyone. Seeing at this time when opened up, I decided to reserve it for the view instead.
Are we gonna get some wedding counseling? Some marriage counseling? I wonder. My father turns to regard Klaude.
Have you given any thought to the situation I posed yesterday?
What situation?
I have.
What situation? Situation? I know Klaude and Father meet on a regular basis for special meetings, but Klaude does not tell me much beyond the fact that the king usually tests him in some way. Klaude turns to look at me, his expression solemn.
The king gave me a hypothetical scenario a few days ago and told me to come up with a solution to it.
What kind of hypothetical, Klaude?
The situation is this. The threat to the kingdom of Angelo stands at the outskirts of the country. The threat is a group of dangerous witches.
Oh no. Are we not stereotyping here? Witches? The word forces me to reflect on Angel's current situation. The tension between witches and humans has significantly decreased over the past few years. There are still undoubtedly corrupted witches in our midst. It does not matter that the fairy tale curse does not exist anymore. There are still witches who use their magic to threaten humans. I have been trying my best to settle these affairs as a Tenebrarum bearer, but even my influence is not all powerful. I suppose the king's scenario isn't inappropriate, given the kingdom's current social climate. I think that, but I still cannot help but feel my heart sink at the thought. The Klaude tells me I should not blame myself for these incidents. I cannot help it. Even though I am being helped by a lot of people, it is still my obligation to speak with the witches and smooth out the tensions between them and humans.
I shake my head as if to physically dispel the thoughts from my mind, then turn my attention back to the conversation at hand.
In this scenario, the witches have already harmed some of the citizens.
That doesn't make us any better.
Given the kingdom's previous history with them, what action would you take as the king to dispel the threat?
And we don't have the advantage of the previous relationship with Fritz that negotiation was really a thing. But then again, it's also the fact that, like, Lieutenant Barham was shattered with his ending too, so that kind of made it like a necessity. Whereas here, it still exists, so that makes things a whole lot more complicated. Both Father and I served politically at Klaude.
My ancestor remains the same, Your Majesty.
Which is? No pun intended.
That took me a second. I would refuse to meet this threat with hostility until I have captured and spoken to them. I don't believe that I alone would have the right to judge them.
Okay, that's actually what I was kind of thinking. Hey, well done, Klaude.
I'd speak with the witch on the matter before passing judgment.
Does this mean we're gonna have another council of magical beings and humans? I hope so.
How would you explain this to the townsfolk?
Good question.
What do you mean? What if many of the citizens, still wary of witches because of the war, advocated for the immediate death sentence?
We've already been through enough killing, we don't want to add more to it?
That's sane.
That's pretty much a given, isn't it? I feel a soft pang in my heart at the statement. Whenever Father says things like that, I cannot help but imagine the atrocities the witches had to face here in Angiel during the war. In fact, the war was pretty much how we got into this problem in the first place. We need to do, I think it's like, we need to do more actions to dissuade this from becoming an all-out war. Because that also, in turn, will save Lucette's sanity. Because, like, whatever the witches experience, she's experiencing it firsthand. Is he forgetting that? And again, I think he is forgetting that. Klaude got it. Klaude got it right away. Fair trial at that. A fair trial.
Given Lucette's efforts to heal the divide between witches and humans, the rift still exists. Relationship hangs on a precarious thread. If we disregard trial, we risk harming one already fragile relationship.
There you go. There you go. He said it better than I could.
Then what would you do when faced with this immense threat?
Oh boy.
It goes without saying that I would speak with Lieutenant Barber first, since she and Lucy's Bear are in charge of maintaining peace at the most basic level. It's imperative that we seek their counsel first.
AKA your kid and Parfait.
At the same time, we should prioritize the safety of the civilians that might be in danger. Second, intensify security.
Well, yeah, there's some people who are, like, still loyal to Hildur, so there is that, too.
But no action is to be taken before we have the opinions of the bearers. In this scenario, it would make more sense to speak with Lieutenant Barham Bear first.
Which would make the most sense, considering that, again, she literally can experience what they're going through. Oh no!
Imagine that the Tenenbaum is unavailable in this situation. The sole responsibility to act lies on your shoulders, Klaude.
Now it feels like, what's that? What's that term about, like there's like a certain decision, like, it's like forcing you to take an expected decision, which is often not a very positive consequence-filled one. I'll try to remember it, but there's some term for this. Because it feels like it's trying to force them into one corner. Both Klaude and I stare at the king. I think you know what he means by unavailable, Klaude.
In this hypothetical situation, yes. But perhaps the Tenenbaum is an important meeting. Whatever the case, she is unavailable.
And I'm gonna go with the Lucis Bearer next, aka Parfait, because she would know pretty well what's going on too.
How long is this meeting?
I know!
How long is this hypothetical
I
meeting?
know! Like, how long is this?
Well, if you cannot rely on anyone else, decision making.
Well, that's the question you should have asked instead. Klaude looks at the king, composed but quiet. It looks like he's struggling to figure out what to say. And I'm struggling too, frankly. And I think on that note, we shall probably pause this meeting right here, because this is going to be a lot for one night. That's for sure.
I'm just gonna say I definitely don't think you should assist him in this, because hypothetically you are unable to assist him.
True.
If she couldn't help you, what would you do? Yeah, what should I do?
No-win scenario. That's the term I was looking for.
Oh yeah.
I was trying to push him into a no-win scenario. But there are some of us who do not believe in the no-win scenario.
Well, she's just trying to prepare him for the eventuality of being a king. It's like the test the captains have to take in Star Trek.
Kobayashi Maru. I mean, then again, I am also thinking about the one person who quote-unquote passed it. And for those who watch the series will know why I say quote-unquote. But yeah. So, what will be the response in this situation? And will Klaude and Lance be able to mend that rift? And what was the discussion really all about? Guess we'll find out next week. So, yeah. So, are we doing Barony on Monday? Or some other day? Okay. Well, Barony. On Monday, then we got Parasite Eve parts 8 and 9 on Wednesday, followed by Pocket Planet on Thursday, and then we're gonna get to part 14 of Cinderella Phenomenon Evermore. Today's the last day for the, for remembering the Historical Fiverr shop, so after this stream, it's gonna be taken off. And, oh yeah, I Heart You D-Day, has officially ended as of 1 a.m. And the organizations that I mentioned stream actually have and surpassed the goals, so thank you very much for your generosity. Donate to them even outside. Really specific about where you
like to go towards when you guys come. Alright? And also support and hopefully what we just mentioned. So that's pretty much all it's got. And YouTube. And on Theological Otaku, my second channel. Maybe keep an eye out for that. Also keep check out my updates on Twitter at Life whenever. So. Course I will see you Monday.